Only one more left. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Dylan with a Blankie channel, where it's another beautiful day for another beautiful challenge. Today, I have for you the final game of the Mario and Luigi series, for now, Mario and Luigi Paper Jam. A very controversial title among the fans, and another that I've never played before. I'll definitely like it better than Dream Team if it shuts up and lets me play the goddamn game for more than 5 seconds. Now, so far, I've done a solo baby run, minimum coins spent run, minimum kills, and starting gear only. So, what pray tell will I do for this run? Well, how about all of them at once? That's right, it's time to really show how much of a gamer I've become throughout these runs. This will be a solo Paper Mario, minimum coins, kill, and starting gear only run. And the rules? Well, there are none. Considering this is my final game, I don't want to completely kill myself doing this challenge all the way to the end, so the way I'm going to run this is however I want. Think of this as a celebration of playing all the Mario and Luigi games. At any time, I can drop the difficulty to easy, use sequence breaks, or even drop one of my challenges if something becomes impossible. But I promise you, I will get as far as I can with these rule sets in place. So the question becomes, how far can I get, and how many of the challenges will I still be running by the very end of this game? Well, I won't keep ya. Let's do this. Prologue. Enter Paper Mario. Ah, the good old Mushroom Kingdom. It's great to see it once again. I wonder how long until Peach gets kidnapped. We open to a storage closet in the castle where Luigi was sent to investigate! Of all people, a random Toad and Luigi? God, I hope this wasn't the Toad that was guarding the Dark Star. Have we not learned our lesson? While examining a hole in the wall, Luigi's attacked by the fan base. Typical. And he knocks down a book that releases paper creatures all over the Mushroom Kingdom. Thank goodness he didn't open the Rule 34 book that was right next to it. We then lay witness to Double Peaches, which is Mario's dream come true. You know what isn't a dream come true, though? The fact Starlo is still in this series. I'll take Toadsworth back at this point. The game introduces us to one of the main mechanics of it, being the missions. You're given missions to save Toads and then must do whatever's necessary to save them, and then you can move on with the story. Here we find several Toads hiding around, and it's really cute how they use their paperness to hide around. All the Toads from the book have been taken by Bowser's minions, and the Peaches task us with saving them all. I will save less than 70% of them, and that's a promise, guys. Anyway, Toadette is back, and she's great! I love her personality, and it's always a joy to see her return in any game. One thing I'll say about Paper Jam is it really leaves you alone with the tutorials. You can say no to about every one this time, and they aren't nearly as intrusive as they have been. In our first battle, I have to take out 2 Goombas with the bros, and then another 2 right after. A little ahead, we get into another battle with a group of Paper Goombas who kick our asses. And who is it up to save the day? It's Paper Mario, baby! The star has arrived, and now it's time to get this show started. From now on, I will only use Paper Mario, and the other 2 will always be taking a little nap while he cleans house. Paper Mario can create up to 6 copies of himself, and these act like body armor, protecting us from a number of attacks before we resort to pulling from our own health pool. They also add to our attack pool, increasing the damage we do. After that battle, we add 13 to the count, and at this time, I'm sure you realize that we are now putting the bros attacks to rest. I must finish this game without using bros attacks, or the new trio attacks, and that will be tough. Chapter 1. For the Toadette Empire! Our first mandatory mission is to save all these Toads, and it's one of the few where we must do battles in order to save them. The toughest part is just getting them to defeat Mario and Luigi before I can finish them off, since we're so early in the game. I'm trying to keep Mario and Luigi dead for the entirety of the run so they don't gain any experience. After that, our count jumps up to, God, 33! Oh no, it's like Dream Team all over again. We gain the Dash Socks after this, granting us the ability to dash and slide. This is super useful for avoiding those encounters, and mainly for getting those Toads who won't sit still. Get back here, you little fuck. A little ways in, we learn how to do trio attacks and get a tutorial battle for it. I absolutely botch it, and then kill these Goombas, adding another 6 to our counter. About 30 minutes into the game, we finally hit our Bowser Kidnaps Peach segment, where, you guessed it, Bowser kidnaps Peach. 2. Paper Bowser has teamed up with regular Bowser, and it's a shame they aren't in the game much. Especially Paper Bowser, like he just ends up in the final battle and that's like all he does. They Luigi Dream Teamed his ass. Now we're subject to our first boss fight with Petey Piranha. It's not so bad, just very tedious. Petey has several attacks. A ground pound we must jump over, a dash attack, and a spin attack. If we counter the dash attack, Petey gets knocked over, and if we hit him in this state, he spits out Goombas, so that's a no-no. I reset and avoid hitting him this way when he's down. You will no doubt have seen Paper Mario's obnoxious dodge here. He can flutter in the air for a good while, making dodges insanely easy. There are a few in the game that are very tough to deal with. Petey here has an insane 143 health. For a first boss, that's wild, but the game does expect me to use 3 people. But screw this game's standards. I'm dealing with a Blankie. I do 12 damage per turn, and countering is out of the question, so after buckling down for about 30 minutes, I win the battle, adding 1 to the counter and leveling up to 3. No, hey, we don't get bonuses. Fuck! After he explodes, we get a question card, which is for the amiibo functionality. I have an old 3DS XL, so Nintendo hates me. In the next area, Kamek summons a giant butt plug to plug the path. Don't worry, Toadette's here to save the day. All we must do is gather the appropriate amount of Toad slaves for her. After catching a bunch against their will, we force them to serve in the mines. Don't worry, the Toads crave the mines, they're fine. Toadette is not satisfied with this meager amount to worship her empire, so we need to gain more. Good thing the Lakitu have made it part of their business model to find lost Toads in need of enslaving. Here, we are forced to spend 10 coins, cause of course we are. And then we can select missions to save more Toads. Now, a lot of people seem to complain about these missions, but they were cute, and I had a decently fun time doing them. Once Overlord Toadette is satisfied, we are given a Mario butt plug of our own. These are the new giant battles. They are nowhere near as fun as Dream Teams. You're given a papercraft, and like, you gotta recharge on this dance pad thing. Once charged, you can dash to knock enemies over and jump on them for massive damage. There aren't a lot of enemies and we don't gain experience, but I'll still add them to the count. After defeating a good amount of enemies, we face the King Plug Papercraft. It's not difficult to beat, and we move on to the next area. Yeah, they suck so bad they don't even deserve a montage. Chapter 2, The Pokey Puzzle. Over at Bowser's Castle, Paper Peach discovers she is in fact paper. We have to do yet another tutorial battle for hammers, and I have to stall a bit so Mario and Luigi can be damaged, but we get them down and Paper Mario cleans them out, putting us at 58 kills already. The bros get their hammers stolen by Nabbit. Get back here, you little fuck. After gaining our hammers back, we learn a new ability to hit stuff. Really hard using all the boys. I'd like to mention at this point, having 3 characters around on the field kind of sucks. I was pretty used to having to stagger 2 jumps, but doing it between 3 people is genuinely annoying. Unfortunately, we have to add more kills to the count, since as soon as we enter this Toad village, we're forced into a mission to save Toads that require defeating a lot of enemies. Also, the ability to flee is unavailable, so they must all be defeated and the encounters must be completely avoided. I then learned about a fun status. So Paper Mario has the chance to be crumpled, burned, or creased. And all of these are a death sentence, since I will be wide open and ripe for abuse. I did this section a few times before I finally finished it. Paper Mario got to level 4. We rescue the remainder of the Toads to aid Toadette's campaign, and now we can fight the next boss, the Pokies. There are 2 of them. One is paper, the other's 3D. They don't have a huge moveset. When the bros are down, the 3D one rolls up and down, and you must jump over it, while the paper one turns into a wheel and you must counter with the hammer. Very easy dodges. The main attack we want is when they fling their sections at you. Why? Well, I do 2 damage to them, and those counters, if I hit them, all do 50 damage to each Pokey. This battle became a puzzle I had to figure out because it was nearly impossible with only Paper Mario. Taking out one Pokey isn't a problem, but once one is gone, I can't take advantage of the high damage counterattack. For some reason, the paper Pokey likes to be taken out first, which isn't good. The 3D one does that rolling attack, which is not counterable, which means we can't do damage. But the paper one can be hit with the hammer on a counter, so I need to take out the 3D Pokey first. Both Pokeys have 144 health, so 3 of those counters will do 1 in. I need to make sure I get them both down to the minimum health I can, so that the remaining one is easier to finish off. Now you might be thinking, why not attack it? Well, you can't. You can eliminate the segments, and once you get down to the head, you get a turn to damage. However, you will not get that turn if it falls over and immediately gets its turn, because it will bring back every segment, meaning the only damage we can get is on counters, which is why I need the paper one to stay alive. I ended up getting both Pokeys close to death and taking calculated hits so that I didn't destroy the paper one. Once the 3D one was down, I focused on counters and damaging segments so that when it was down to the head, it was then my turn. Doing this, I did 6 damage to the head every time, but it did take a long time to get there. It was a slog, but eventually, Brain overcame Brawn, and Paper Mario was awarded level 5. Before being able to leave the desert, we were forced into yet another Papercraft battle. Alright, fine, here's a montage. We get smacked by a fucking cannonball and then mugged by the Koopalings. They nab the book and throw us in jail. We don't stay locked up long because Mario of Paper can do this. This next part is pretty creative. So the Hammer Bros took all of our attack blocks, and we have to gain them back one by one using only counters. Defeating the first one gets our Fleet Command back. Second gets some Bros attacks. Third gets our hammer, and on the fourth one, we level up to 6 and rank up to the Shell rank. Just like in Dream Team, we can now pick a passive effect for the remainder of the game. All of the extra stat ups are useless since we can't really bank on level ups, so I decided on Gear Slot +1, which adds an extra gear slot to Paper Mario. That's right, I said I wouldn't change my start gear, not that I wouldn't add more. We also got a trio attack back for that fight. I don't have any extra gear, so we'll fill that slot later. One more battle, and we now have all of our stuff back and are just shy of 100 kills on our counter. The boys learn a new ability to grab faraway things, and then Peach says this. That's it. This is why her security sucks, 'cause she likes it!
What's that you're saying now, Luigi? You're worried about all the toads the Bowsers have kidnapped? You think they're probably scared out of their minds? You can picture them wringing their nubby little hands with fear. You can hear their high-pitched wails. And the shouts of, "Oh, please, save us, Luigi. We need your help." Wow, Luigi, that's a terrible scene you're painting. Luckily, it's not very realistic. After all, I'm pretty sure they'd be calling for Mario's help, not yours.
Starlo is still taking shots at Luigi, and I, for one, don't stand for this Luigi hate. On the way out, we see a Goomba whose ass we promptly kicked earlier, and he teaches us how to use battle cards. These are very important since a lot of otherwise impossible to overcome situations are saved by the existence of these cards. We enter a tutorial battle, and we must gain star points by doing successful attacks. Then we can use cards that increase our power, speed, and we even get one that increases our experience yield by 25%. I will be using this one a lot. Being that we can't spend money, we're stuck with the initial set of cards and whatever enemies happen to drop. In the tutorial battle, I just fail the attacks so Mario and Luigi can go down, and the Goomba has some funny dialogue for this actually. We are finally on the way out. but have one more battle to take on. Roy and Wendy. These two aren't so bad to battle, thanks to the forgiving counter system in the game. Oh, and the fact most bosses lose like 70% of their attacks when only Paper Mario is left. In this battle, Wendy will shoot rings that you must jump through or over, while Roy throws a big-ass rock at you. You play a bit of tennis with him until it breaks, and it'll hit Wendy, who, after being pissed off enough, beats the shit out of Roy for massive damage. They also have a scrolling attack where Roy throws a giant ball and Wendy shoots fireballs at you. If you time it right, you can get Wendy to be run over for a huge amount of damage. After a bit of a beating, they enter their rage state and glow red. Now the attacks deal much more damage, and by countering, we take care of Roy easily. Wendy now shoots this giant sphere at us that we must counter back. This also deals way more damage than we can pull off, making the fight cake. And we eventually win out, leveling up to 7, making it out of the desert and into the Twinsy Tropics. Chapter 3. Sometimes I just don't name the chapters. Toadette beckons for her ranks to be increased for the coming war, and we oblige and help fill the ranks of our glorious leader. We kill a few Koopas and Metal Gear Solid our way to saving the Toads. We then force them to build a ship for us for the sake of the new Toadette Empire. Back with the princesses, Paper Peach starts talking mad smack about Luigi. Give him a break! Our new destination is Mount Burr, and first we must go through the forest to get there. Before the game lets us proceed though, we have to fight Paper Petey. He steals our copy ability, and yeah, that's gonna make this fight a goddamn pain. Petey can dash at us, which we can hammer counter for a small amount of damage, and does a double ground pound using his copies. That's really all he does. Seems easy, right? Well, Petey has a decent 384 health! And also you have to beat all of his copies. As you defeat the copies, they fall off his main body, the real one will occasionally raise its head up. So while he technically has 384 health, we have to slog through a lot of hits to be able to damage his real body. I can do a maximum of 12 damage. So yeah, after about 35 minutes of battle, I managed to win, and I don't think I ever took more than 2 hits this whole fight. Winning the battle jumps us up to level 9, and of course I had to count every paper copy as well. In the forest, I go to the gear shop and spend my expert challenge points for a copy bangle and equip it. This gives us a free single Mario copy every turn. Then, a Wiggler forces us to feed him clout to grow his YouTube channel. Once he has enough clout, Wiggler still isn't satisfied, and forces us to mug a Yoshi of his gold play button. Now that Wiggler is in the top percentage of YouTubers, he turns on his old fan base and we must fight him. Hey all, Dylan here, and I just want to let you know that I would never do that to you until at least 100k. As my fan base, I'll always stand by you and make the content you like to see. And of course, I can't let down my patrons such as a new artist, Derpin Goose, Luigi88, Michael H, Mode Select Start, Nerd Stop, Shadow Silent Gargoyle, and Void Scent. Thanks guys, I'm starting to run out of breath saying all the names. Subscribe. This Wiggler fight is going to be another long one, so Paper Kamek sits in the background and helps Wiggler in this fight. The moves we must watch out for are his seed attack, which we have to float over just right, this ground pound move, and finally this scrolling attack, where Wiggler chases us and we have to jump on Paper Kamek at the end to do some damage. Paper Kamek also attacks us with some magic blast that we can knock back. This is our only decent way of damaging Wiggler. With this we can manage to do 55 damage, but it's not a guaranteed move. Wiggler has 660 health, and Kamek has 440. I regret my choices. Now watch me kick his ass! It's a bit annoying that Kamek could revive Wiggler, but nothing we couldn't handle. We level up to 10, and now that we've raised the Wiggler allegations, he ascends to lolcow heaven. Oh my, but Wiggler has beat the allegations and become a butterfly of the people! He is the YouTuber of the century! His newfound generosity takes us to the heights of Mount Burr. A little ways through, we learn an ability that will serve us very well going forward. We get the drill ability, which lets us dig up bean spots, and this game is packed with beans. Obviously, since I'm only using Paper Mario, I give him every bean I can find, but I never use the bro beans since we aren't using bro attacks anyway. A lot of puzzles and stuff I can't use later. We make it to the Toad Village, where we continue to recruit for the Toadette cause. Once we have enough, we get our Peach Papercraft and engage in another gauntlet. To prove our undying loyalty to Toadette, the crew jump off the side of a mountain, landing in the desert. We got this medallion, which we need to take back to the dungeon we were in earlier. Before we're allowed entry, though, we have a rather beefy fight to take care of. The group of Chargin' Chucks. It's really nice to see these enemies that haven't been given a game for a while. I'm really enjoying seeing a lot of comeback characters. There are 12 of these guys, and the main move they do is, well, charging. Staying true to the brand, good for you guys. They charge into each other, doing some significant damage, but the problem is they can refill their ranks. This whole fight just ends up being a lot of dodging with some retaliation in the middle. Once they get enraged, they do more damage to each other. Near the end of the fight, I have to be very cautious of the damage I'm doing, since when one is left, I will have to finish it off myself. Luckily, I didn't have to do that, and the last two finish each other off in good fashion, and I level up to 12. This leads to a rank up, and I give myself a second extra gear slot. I don't have anything for the slot, though, so, it's there. This leads to probably the most difficult non-boss section of the run. This Goomba tricks us into stealing the medallion and thrusts us into a new mission. The goal is to find the medallion on any one of these random fire bros. There are about 15 here, and the one with the medallion is randomized. Did I mention this is a minimum kill run? Basically, if I don't find the medallion in 2 battles, I reset this section. A lot. So much, in fact, that I got one of the rarest drops in the game. A regular-ass enemy dropped the shiny Bowser card, which means I could drop Bowser and Bowser Jr.'s levels by 5 if I used it in battle. Unfortunately, in that run, it took 5 Fire Bros battles, so I ultimately reset, because if I'm going to do this run, I want minimum kills over anything else. I finally got a good strategy down, and managed to find the medallion after 2 battles of adding 5 kills. Now, the rest of the game gets serious. Chapter 4. Are you entertained yet? We power through some more dungeon and get to another boss battle. This time with the Koopalings, Ludwig and Harry. Larry, not Harry. Larry! This fight has the 2 enemies using cards just like we do. As long as they pull off hits, they accrue points that activate their cards, creating devastating effects. With only Paper Mario, there is only one attack to dodge. Easy, right? So Ludwig doesn't attack at all, he just uses those cards. Larry, however, does this attack that is a very accurately timed dodge. If he hits you, it's almost a guaranteed death since it hits like 7 times in a row. That means I have to defeat Larry, a boss with 825 HP, without ever getting hit while doing 14 damage per turn. I fed myself every bean I had to do even one more damage, and then I went to work. Dodging every single hit, I was able to defeat Larry. Now, Ludwig does a magic ball attack that we can counter, and thank fuck he does this, because I wasn't ready to raw dog his 900 health. The orb speeds this up greatly, and we end up winning, jumping us to level 15. We enter into Bowser's castle, and have to do another papercraft battle with our boy Yoshi. Our glorious leader gets kidnapped, and we must save her and destroy the non-believers along the way. With that out of the way, the next boss is the two Bowser Jr.'s. This fight is unfortunately impossible for solo Paper Mario. The Juniors have a few attacks they use. One is this really tough to dodge barrel attack, where you have to perfectly time jumping over their fire attacks, and they charge at you. The impossible part is right here, though. So, you're supposed to do this sequence here with the bros, and if they aren't alive for it, you automatically get hit, and if they do it twice in a turn, it's Jover. Instant kill. To remedy this, I attempted the battle with the bros alive, and it just wasn't working out. These fuckers have 1,000 HP, and I was exhausted by the time we even got to halfway on one of them. They also revive each other. Fucking insane, right? Remembering my Dream Team run, I decided, hey, let's skip it. I'll come back later. There's an easy skip to pull off that gets us into the part of the game that is directly after the Bowser Jr. fight. And I mean, it's dumb easy the amount of things you can do to break this game. I mean, it's legit bonkers. Little did I know, I have forever skipped the Bowser Jr. fights. We can't go back as this triggers all the story flags up to the point we enter. So the princesses are safe now and there's random stuff everywhere. I see it as an absolute win though, because that's 2 less enemies on my counter, baby. However, the difficulty doesn't end here though. Oh no, dear viewer. In this section of the woods, we get separated from Paper and Mario, leaving just Luigi, and we do these fun little ghost dodging sections. After that, we find Mario and then engage in a battle with King Boo.
Without Paper Mario.
That's right. I now have to fight King Boo, level 29, with 1,421 health, with a level 1 Mario and Luigi. All hope isn't lost. We can get Paper Mario back in the fight. We just have to beat the Boo holding him that has 49 HP. That's easy, right? Oh my god. After you hit the Boo, he runs for a huge amount of turns, which means we have to survive a very, very, very long time just to get Paper Mario back, and then take just as long to beat King Boo. Now, I know you guys already think of me in mediocre fashion, so let's keep that energy strong as I tell you I did this fight on easy mode, just to do a tiny bit more damage. I still get one shot, don't worry! Don't fret! Don't think that it got easier, because I just did more damage. I still get killed in one hit. My damage being a little bit higher really helps me keep my sanity for this. For the first time, I use the bro attacks and have to perfect dodge every attack until I can save Paper Mario. Even after I do, the damage I'm outputting is so pitiful, I wonder if easy mode is even helping me at all. King Boo does only 2 attacks. The one we want is this invisible attack we can counter with a hammer. It's a lot like the Dark Star battle in Inside Story. We want this one because we can do some damage to him on the counter. The other is him spewing random fireball things that will either jump over or stand under. The good thing about these is they don't cause burn. And before I conclude this fight, I'd like to show you the runtime and name of this file. This battle took an hour and a half. My god, these health values are getting ridiculous. We power leveled to 17 after this, and I am so ready for the run to be over. This is where I realized that I can't go back to the Bowser Jr. fights, and I would have gone back, but these games have one save file, and I'm not redoing all that bullshit. Our next destination is Mount Burr once again, and oops! Not only did I skip the Bowser Jr. fights, I have soft-locked myself since I can't activate the new Toad missions. Guess I have to restart the run. Ain't no game in this world gonna tell me what to do. Yeah, get that shit out of here. I clip out of bounds and skip that requirement. Queen Toadette will have my head for this, I'm sure. At the summit of the mountain, we fight with King Babam. Remember him?
I can show you the world.
Shit!
Shining,
The difficulty of this battle doesn't come from King Babam himself, but from the goddamn timer? We have 4 minutes to beat him. It isn't as bad as it seems, though. There's a move where he kicks his red bomb at us, and as long as we successfully deflect it, we gain more time on the timer. He also throws these bombs, and if we time it right and land on them, they go back to him and deal really significant damage. Oh yeah, he has 1,700 HP. Thank God for those bombs. After a good bit of dodges, we finally win and level up to 19, gaining a new rank. It's here I have a tough choice to make. We once again have mushroom experience, but I can't buy mushrooms, making this a less viable way to level up than it was in Dream Team. Considering everything else is useless, I'm stuck between getting the Counterer or Copy Max +2. The Counter ability doubles counter damage, and seeing as how most of the game has been relying on that, I decide it's the best bet. To get the Neo Bowser Castle, Toadette summons the army to form a stairway of toads. It's fine, they love being stepped on. As much as I love making montages! Now we have one last impossible mission to deal with. The Koopalings. Fire a cannon and we have 5 minutes to defeat several hordes of enemies to stop it from going off. The big problem is, we aren't strong enough to win before the timer runs out. We can barely even get halfway. I head back to the Lakitu Center and do a number of quests until I'm rewarded the card that extends the timer by 5 minutes. I enter some random battles and do some attacks, grinding our SP up to max, which I should have been doing from the start, honestly. Then I tackle the gauntlet again. The Goomba Brigade is easy to dispatch, but we waste some time waiting for them to take out Mario and Luigi. After those 12 are defeated, we have to fight some Bob-Ombs. Oh, sorry, a lot of Bob-Ombs. The counters make this a cakewalk. The next battle is with these guys, and I utilize our damage cards to even out the damage as much as I can before I start eliminating them. It takes some doing, but we win, and then the final battle is with this Shy Guy holding Chomps. As long as we beat the Shy Guy, we automatically win. That said, he has 327 health, and I do 20 a turn. A lot of extend time cards later, we finally finish this mission. add a massive amount to our count, and head into the final battles. Final chapter. The gloves come off. Or on, I guess. Kamek, my old annoying nemesis. This is one long, dumb battle. I even tried skipping it, which just isn't possible right now. The two Kameks are very similar to the Junior. They have a gigantic health pool and must be defeated at the same time. The moves they have are running with this beam you jump over and this portal thing, which gives us a chance to deal counter damage. They can also summon dry bones to their side. When they summon the dry bones, I bait them until one is left so they can't summon more, and I only deal with this one bone throw. This fight requires a heap of time since I have to do the minimum of 18 damage. The Kameks have a combined health pool of about 3,600. That's over 200 turns of damage. Listen, I'll do a lot for this channel, but I'm sure as fuck not doing that. So in this moment, I decided it was time. Time to drop my starting gear requirement. Gate of Gear. Open! They got a few revives in, but with the ability to not take 200 turns, they stood no chance against the paper that is Mario. With so very few bosses remaining, we head in further to the final confrontation. Before we can fight the Bowsers, we have to fight wave after wave of enemies. Did you see those farmer boots? That's like a 1% drop rate on that, and I can't use them. I love doing challenge runs. With the small fry out of the way, the only thing left is to beat every single Koopaling in a single circuit gauntlet of battles. I was hoping for a sub 300 kill, but the bodies must be tallied. The fights are the same as earlier with Wendy and Roy, just some inflated numbers being this late in the game. I specifically got the counterer in case something like this happened, and it was a worthy investment. This fight is very simple, and the two are brushed aside with ease. Then we fight Ludwig and Larry, who still use cards and still have that bullshit wand attack. It takes a long time to take out Larry, but once he's gone, Ludwig just gets bombed to death. Now, for a new battle, and the one that ends the true Paper Mario solo, if you don't count the Junior battle. Well, you shouldn't count the Junior battle because I skipped it. This battle has the remaining 3 Koopalings use the scrolling attacks. Boomerang, Airplane, and Trampoline. These segments require Mario and Luigi, so they are invincible for this part. One single hit from any of these 3 moves is a one-hit kill. At our level, it takes us 3 rotations of every attack to be able to win, and the only real issue is learning what to do since I spent the whole game never using these dodges. Morton also changes our cards to cards that have a random effect. On the third run of attacks, I usually lose, but with some good RNG, I get a lot of cards that deal 60 damage, lowering the amount of scrolling attacks and ultimately winning me the battle. We then get the infinitely funny Mario and Luigi power leveling from 1 to 14 since they had to be alive to win. Now ahead of us is the final battle, Bowser and Paper Bowser. And I hate to say it, but this fight without switching to easy mode is another impossible one. It's of course because Bowser can heal faster than I can damage him, a staple in the Mario and Luigi games at this point. There is a first phase of the two Bowsers where you just need to do set damage until they move to the second phase of the battle, where Paper Bowser becomes armor for Bowser. You have to defeat the armor to damage the real threat, who has a whopping 2,145 HP. If you don't do it fast enough, Bowser will summon some minions who he absorbs into the armor, recovering the damage. You can defeat them, but I can only do one at a time, making an insignificant dent in the heal. Being stubborn, I won't do this final battle on easy. I may have failed in Dream Team, but it's time for me to come through. It is now time for me to drop one last challenge. Gate of Greed, open!
Let's go!
What started as a solo, coinless, gearless, minimum kill challenge ends with a kill count of 304, a coin count of 33,794, with 4,810 coins spent, and Paper Mario standing as the Supreme Mario. The brothers trap Bowser in the book, and the Mushroom Kingdom is once again safe. At least until it isn't. Well, there you go. I can for sure tell you true solo Paper Mario isn't possible. But with the massive amount of glitches, it definitely can be. Coinless isn't possible since you have to spend that 10 at the Lakitu Center, and gearless is possible if you're fucking insane. The minimum kill is definitely doable, and if we did add the juniors, it would sit at 306. But we didn't, and I'm awesome. Paper Jam was weird. I didn't hate it, but it just didn't really bring a lot of what I enjoy to the Mario and Luigi series. I appreciate the tutorials being dialed back. That was a dream come true. The missions weren't awful. They were a decent and fun distraction most of the time. Think of them like my montages, just a little break in the middle. After playing through this now for the first time with such ridiculous restrictions most of the way, this game has a lot of potential for a counter-only run. If someone could hack in the do-nothing option the game gives when the Hammer Bros take your actions away, I would totally run that. But that's it. With Paper Jam done, I have now played all of the games with some dumb rules. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and comment what you'd like to see next. It'll probably be Brothership. As always, everyone, stay cozy, and I'll see ya.